Obviously the Florida game stung hard. That would have put us 3-1 in the league on the road, which is a great feat for a new program that hadn't had much success on the road. Obviously, the last couple plays in regulation, you play them over and over. Probably the two hardest shots they made all night was their last two. I'm a proponent. I played the last play over, foul, not to foul, 1,000,000 times. Hadn't slept much the last 2 days, really. I'm a proponent of fouling. I fouled up 3. It was just the time left at around 9 seconds, and that if you foul maybe right at the half-court line, I'm always subject of fear of fouling in the front court, and all of a sudden you foul, the guy goes right into a shot, and they give him 3 fouls, 3 shots. So, if you foul right at the half-court line, it's probably around over 5 seconds on the clock. So we chose not to. Obviously, somebody asked me, would you do it again? Well, yeah, I foul now, knowing that the guy made a 25-footer, no question. So it was just one of those games. And, we came back yesterday. We had a good practice, did some physical things that we needed to do. We need to understand about winning plays, shot selection up 2, TD, bad shot, grinding out possessions even in overtime. So those are some of the things that, we've really got to concentrate on. But played well enough to win against a team. I thought Florida, and Mike said it, his team played really well that night.
A lot's been made of the decision not to foul, but you mentioned the shots early in the shot clock when you're up 2, just shots that were out of character for the offense. TD spoke about the decision making. What do you want to see out of him and just the offense in particular as far as moving the ball constantly?
Yeah, TD played great. 26 and 12, but up 2 just to kind of ran isolation on the side, and they guarded. He just kind of tried to fall away 24-footer, 16 seconds on the clock. We settled at the end, some, but then we made some great plays offense. We ran some really good stuff at the end. A set play to TD, posted him up, he laid it in. There's a lot of really good things. You have to play well at Florida to put yourself up 3. So there's a lot of really good things that we did. Some of them, we need to think about those things. And, but like I said, Kayvon Allen's 0 for 6, and he makes a 25-footer. If you don't foul, you can't guard any better than what we guarded, and he made it. So that's basketball, and you got to move on to another really big game on Saturday.
You talk about not getting a lot of sleep and replaying it in your head. How hard is it as a coach to eventually sort of close that file and move on to the next one?
You do it with your team. Obviously you always do it with your team. I think those kind of plays, I've got some of those plays stuck in my mind 15, 16 years later, So, but it's just, like I said, our team did a great job of it yesterday. Staff did too. We came back and went right back to work. We watched every second of the tape, about 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then went right and had about 1 hour and 15-minute physical practice, and those guys were good, responded well, with good energy.
They haven't faced this kind of thing before. 4 losses in the last 5 games. It's something they haven't faced all year. So how do you get out of something like that when you get into those little dog days or just a run of tough games?
Just got to practice and win, Ben. Practice and win. We've gone from the extreme. We went from finishing last year to pick last this year, no expectations, to have a big target on our back. Teams are playing well against us right now, so it's kind of a 2-month period. You went from the one extreme to the other, and that's a good thing, but there's still some reality to that. And my dad always used to say, if that ball, which probably 80% of the time doesn't go in, how do you feel today? I feel like your team had a great road win. You guys said, well, it's a heck of a road win. Can you believe Ole Miss is 3-1 on the road? So it's just, you're always not that far off, not that far bad, so we just got to gather ourselves, and big game tomorrow night.
I know you probably want your team kind of thinking in the moment, but as a coach, do you feel okay about where y'all are at, big picture as far as the tournament and all that right now?
Oh, I don't. We've got to focus on playing. We really do. I haven't really looked at any. I know I've looked at our net, and it's about 30-something, whatever. I don't even know exactly what it is. But, so I know we're right in the middle of it still. The one thing about this league is just all the opportunities that are in front of us. Mississippi State's net is very good, still ranked in the top 25, so you got an opportunity there. So there's always just so many opportunities down the road in the SEC.
You talked about the expectations and the target on your back or whatever with that. How have teams started playing you differently since the expectations rose?
I don't think differently. I just think the teams you're not catching any team on an off night, and not that we would many times anyway, but and trust me, we don't have a target on our back like Kentucky or Duke. We're not trying to beat that way at all. But we just did, when you get ranked, and so And we've played really good teams. Iowa State, I think, maybe a Final Four team. LSU may be playing as good as anybody in college basketball right now. I mean, winning at Florida. I mean, single possession game, they could have beaten Tennessee and Michigan State at home. So that, the quality of opponent's pretty good. So we're not panicking at all. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. There's a lot of basketball left.
Is something missing from Blake's game that has not allowed him to really get close to that level that he showed in Starkville in the first game?
Well, you've heard me say this 100 times. Can Blake Henson play well and not make threes? That's what you got to do. And he's trying. But he fouled the other day. He got in foul trouble, so it's kind of an awkward game for him. But can you go 1 for 6 from 3 and really have a positive impact on the game by defending, by playmaking, by go back in offensive rebounding the ball? There's a lot of ways to play well. Is Blake going to shoot the ball well? And it's no doubt he's going to have some big games this year. So, but you just got to understand how to affect games in other ways.
I guess just staying on the freshman, the Florida game was probably like KJ's most aggressive game offensively. How do you think he's developed that side of his game?
Well, KJ and I had a long conversation. KJ lost his mom about a year and a half ago to cancer. It was on her birthday. And so it was last week. We sat down and talked for a long time about his mom, about everybody, and just about where he was, and really had some real candid conversations. And I think KJ has responded really well. He was very aggressive, and he looked comfortable, and he belonged there, and so that's good, and we know that's in him. And I just think KJ is a guy with his maturity level. I mean, I say it, he should be a senior in high school right now. He's really young for his age, so he's had to grow up in a tough league, and he's got to keep playing better. But I was proud of what he did the other night.
Do you guys prepare for this game tomorrow as if Nick Weatherspoon will play, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, dude, I sure hope he's fine. He's such a good player, and he's such a tough guy. I like watching him play. I just heard it wasn't as severe as what it looked like maybe just watching it. So that's great news for him and for Mississippi State. He's on our personnel board like he'll play. We haven't heard anything different, so we will prepare just for him to play.
Miles, kind of on the flip side, Vontae looks healthier than he's been in the past couple games. Y'all pleased with how that's progressing?
Yeah, I was at my radio show Monday night, and Vontae was on it, and we practiced twice that day, not long periods of time, but then Tuesday he was kind of gimpy. And so he didn't practice at all on Tuesday before he went to Florida. And then Florida, he did. He looks fine. You're right. He's getting better. The last X-ray, there's no question that it's healing, which is a great. Sometimes you get those things get a little worse, and so it's healing. I think that made him feel more confident with it. So you're right. He is getting healthier.
KJ made a 3 against Florida too, and that's something he's been trying to bring to this game. Having that kind of success, could that lead to that opening up to more in his game, maybe the confidence growing for him?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for him. I would like for him to shoot more mid-range shots, just 17-foot shots, one dribble. Sometimes he'll take an extra dribble to get too far in the lane, and maybe a one-dribble pull-up is good. But yeah, KJ's a good shooter. He's just confidence, and making something just like that the other night. So I sure hope it does, because, if he can stretch it out there, it sure helps our team.
Since the last